I think we're now finally at a point where the pathing algorithm is pretty passable. The spiders are doing a pretty good job of staying on the table while also getting out of each other's way. Hey everyone, welcome back to my dev diary. This is episode 6, developing a VR exposure therapy game in Unity for the Oculus Rift. We've taken a bit of a break, which I'll get to later, but now we're back and it's time to get our spider pathing algorithm finally working. If you remember back to last episode, all we're trying to do is to get the spiders to move randomly around the table without falling off the table and without bumping into each other. The current algorithm has a whole bunch of problems. The worst of these was this whole flying spiders fiasco, where the spiders just run off the table and start flying around. Okay, I think that looks better. Oh jeez! Yeah, that's really not what we want at all. Each spider is supposed to turn away from the edge of the table when it's about to fall off. In the system we built last episode, this is achieved through this border object, which has a trigger collider attached. When the spider enters the collider, onTriggerEnter gets called, and we tell the spider to start moving away from the border. When it leaves the collider, onTriggerExit gets called, where we tell the spider to stop turning away from that border. Depending on what combination of borders we're turning away from, we set this target direction, shown here in blue, that points us back away from the border at the same angle we're going in, and the spider turns towards that during its walk cycle. So what's this fella doing? Well, when spiders begin their walk cycle right on the edge of the border, they don't seem to have any interest in turning away, which must mean the booleans for turning away from borders are set to false, which must mean onTriggerExit has been called more recently than onTriggerEnter, even though we're currently inside the border's trigger collider. My best guess as to what's causing this is that if we look at the Unity documentation, we can see monobehavior actually triggers the physics cycle multiple times a frame. My theory is that the spider is actually entering and exiting the border multiple times per frame because it's so close on the edge. onTriggerEnter and onTriggerExit are both being called in the same frame, and because I've defined onTriggerExit further down in my script, it's the last one to be called, meaning by the time we get to our update method here, we're inside the collider, but onTriggerExit was the last method to be called. I could just move this method up here and that might fix it, but then I think I'll end up with the opposite problem, with the spider thinking it's in the border when it's actually not. And honestly, I'm just not really a fan of how I've built this algorithm in general. There's a lot of data carried over each frame, we're storing the target direction and whether we're turning from the borders, that's not working. We're storing the animation that gets paused when the spider waits for another spider to get out of the way. That's not working either. And in general, the entire thing is just a bit hard to follow. I recently learned about coroutines and thought I was being pretty clever using those, but it just makes it kind of difficult to work out what on earth is actually going on while I'm debugging. So with all that in mind, I pretty much decided to just start again. This time I'm going to take a more stateless approach. What I basically mean by that is that I want the algorithm to have to remember less data between each frame. Instead, I want each spider to figure out where it should be going and what it should be doing based on its current position on the table and its proximity to other spiders in the scene on a frame-by-frame basis, rather than relying on a bunch of booleans and vectors carried over from the frame before. I'm hoping that'll make things a little bit easier to follow. The first change I used is to use onTriggerStay to make the spider turn rather than booleans set by onTriggerEnter and exit. This means we can guarantee that each frame the spider spends inside the border, it will be turning away. This works, but it still looks a little janky. As soon as the spider enters the border, it's turning at maximum speed, and as soon as it leaves, it's not turning at all. To make this look a little smoother, I got rid of the collider idea entirely, and instead set the turning speed to a function of how far into the border we are. This blue line here is the start of the border, and this red line here is the end. If the spider is only a fifth of the way into the border, it should turn at a fifth normal speed. Halfway in, it should turn at half speed, and the further we go in, the further we turn. If we ever ended up past the red line, that multiplier just becomes larger than 1. So originally this wasn't working properly. The further the spider got into the border, the less it was turning. I found writing variables of the console pretty useful in figuring out what the issue was. So Z1 here is the Z value of the blue border, ZS is the Z value of the spider, Z2 is the red border, and the number here is how far through the border it thinks we are. -1 means we're not inside the border at all. This BBL number here is the border boundary length. It's just how far apart the blue and red borders are. Now, as we step through each frame, we should see this number start really small, close to 0, and then grow towards 1 as we approach the red line. but as soon as we get past the blue line, this value is 246, and that decreases the further we go in. When variables change in the opposite way than you expect, it often means that you're negating somewhere you shouldn't in your code, or that you're dividing something the wrong way around, and that's exactly what's happening here. We should be dividing the spider's distance from the first border by the border boundary length, not the opposite way around. All fixed. The next problem we have is the direction the spider turns away from the border. We're turning the spider away from the border using vector 3's rotate towards method, passing in our current forward direction and the direction towards the center of the table. The problem is that this function will always take us the quicker way around towards the target, when that's not always what we want. Take this diagram here. Here's our spider, the blue is our target direction, and the green is our forward-facing direction. If we turn the quick way around to our target, so anti-clockwise in this case, it will take us longer to get back out of the border than if we went the other way around. Remember, as soon as the spider leaves the border, it can stop turning, so all we want to do is get the spider out of the border as quickly as possible. And that's not what's happening in this case. To solve this, we basically make a new vector parallel to the border. In this case, we're pointing more left than right, so we point this new vector left. Now, we simply turn towards that vector, as that will always be the fastest way back out of the border. Once we've arrived at that new vector, we can start turning towards the target. At this point, we want to ignore that new vector. If we keep turning towards it, we'll just end up going left forever. Much better. If we look at another example, again, green is our forward direction. This time we're facing right, so our new vector points right. We turn towards this vector until we match it, and then keep turning towards the target. This is what the spider would do anyways, but it's good to make sure that the system works in all cases. Okay, good so far, but we still aren't dealing with any other spiders. Before we can avoid spiders that get too close, we first need to detect those spiders that are too close in the first place. To begin with, I just had any spider within a certain radius get flagged for detection. That works, but it means that we have cases where we're avoiding when we don't actually need to. What just happened there was that even though the two spiders weren't going to collide, they came within each other's avoidance circles, so they turned away from each other. I tried using a sector here rather than a full circle, meaning we're only looking for spiders within a certain angle ahead of us, but that doesn't really work either. If two spiders approach each other from too shallow an angle, they won't notice and they'll collide, which is exactly what's happening here. What I ended up doing is making the original circle much smaller and also adding a sector too, so we get this kind of a shape. If we take these two spiders again, they come just as close as before, but because they're not directly in front of each other, they just leave each other be. Again, here, because we still have these circles, even though they're smaller, these two spiders will still notice they're too close and move away. We're making progress, but now is, I think, the most difficult bit, combining avoiding other spiders with turning away from the table borders. To help figure this out, I drew up this little table that's basically telling us what each spider should do if there's another spider that comes too close, depending on what those two spiders are currently doing. So, for example, if our spider is walking straight ahead and it gets too close to another spider that's also walking straight ahead, both spiders should avoid each other. If that other spider isn't walking forward, but instead it's busy turning away from the border, then the other spider keeps doing its thing and just our spider avoids, and vice versa. Let's take a different case. Say our spider is already avoiding another spider, but in doing so it gets too close to a third spider that's busy turning away from the border. In this case we should just wait. If we kept avoiding the first spider, we collide with the second one, so we should wait for that second spider to move a bit more out of our way before moving on ourselves. One more example. In the case where our spider is already avoiding a spider, and then our spider gets too close to another spider that itself is avoiding a fourth spider, the spider with the lower priority should wait for a clear path ahead. So the spider we're looking at is on the middle left here. It's avoiding the spider below, gets too close to another spider that's avoiding the one above, and because our spider has the higher priority, the other one waits. If we play this again but with the priority switched, we can see it's our spider that waits. You'll notice the spiders turn pretty smoothly while avoiding each other, and that's because I did the same thing I did at the borders, where the turn speed is a function of how close the two spiders are to each other. There's loads more things that I could go into the details with. When two spiders get too close while turning from the border, they actually swap priorities based on who's sooner about to leave the border. I made it so the animation speed of each spider is a function of their scale, so that different size spiders still animate properly, stuff like that. It's definitely not perfect, but I think we're now finally at a point where the pathing algorithm is pretty passable. The spiders are doing a pretty good job of staying on the table while also getting out of each other's way. Especially when you compare it to the prototype where spiders were just walking through each other constantly, it's definitely an improvement. There are still some kinks to iron out. This is pretty not ideal. Sometimes when I hit play, they're just jumping, they're just boogieing around. I don't know why. I stop and hit play again and they start behaving. I don't know. I'll fix that when I have the time. Which brings me on to the last thing I wanted to talk about. You may have noticed a bit of a gap since the last episode. I actually started work recently, and turns out it's kind of tricky to do all this while also working 9 to 5. I mean, this project is great, but, so is paying rent. So going forward, I'll just be doing what I can. Some episodes may be bigger, some may be shorter. But next episode, I'll be looking at Oculus Touch integration so we can actually use our hands to pick up the spiders and play with them. So there should be some interesting stuff to look forward to. Thanks a whole lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.